Hey everybody, it's Brian Chrisman with Heart of the Bride Ministries and the Emerald Coast Mud Run here for your annual volunteer training video. So with me always is our assistant race director, Ashley McCallum. Ashley, how you doing today?
Hey guys, what's up?
Yeah, so we are glad and so thankful that you were volunteering. Let us just say, first of all, thank you for volunteering. It takes hundreds of you to get this done every year, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you for doing that. And in regard to that, we want to respect your time. So we're just going to get right to it and do this thing. You ready, Ashley?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. All right, everybody. First of all, here's the look. You've probably already seen it. This is the new look this year with the kind of like diamond patch style, which is just standing out from everything else that we've seen recently. So we're really excited about that. That's going to be on your shirts and stuff. So you can get a sense of the look. Here it is. The shirt that you guys will be wearing is similar to a blue from last year, but it's called Slate. It's supposed to be different. Looks different on all the slides we see, but the logo just looks awesome on it. Looks real retro. So and the metal I think turned out really good. So that's what it looks like. The location this year, same place that it was last year at the Spanish Trail Scout Reservation. That's 315 Pat Coville Road in Defuniak Springs. And if you didn't hear it last year, we just heard over and over again how this was like the best location ever. I mean, the college was awesome and great to us, but this location last year just was a huge hit. So really excited about that. Of course, we've got our 10K this year, our 5K, and our 1 mile. With the 26 obstacles, actually 27 with the 10K, 21 with the 5K, and then the kids run this year. I just went through the map. Actually, has 11 obstacles because we get to add one as we redid that, which we'll tell you in just a minute. But these are the shirts so that you can kind of know the 5K is a burgundy. If you can't tell on that slide, the 10K Elite Warrior is a military green. Really my favorite this year. And then the kids run is a purple, and it'll really stand out. The logo is really going to pop against that. So it'll be very easy on that day to tell the racers apart by their shirts. So here's the race schedule for the day. It's very similar to last year, starting off with the 10K Elite Warrior at 7:30 a.m. and then at 8:30 the 5K competitive, right? And if you'll remember, or if you're new to this and you need to know, those first two races are the two that are officially timed. When we get to later instructions, that's going to be important because they're going to be wearing timing chips and they must complete the obstacles or do the penalty. So that's at 7:30 and 8:30. And then starting at 9 a.m., we start our open heats, right? Or what we call our fun run. And we have many of those. You can see right there all the way through 12:30. The first two are full. I think 10 a.m. is almost full. 10:30 has quite a few, and then they kind of taper off. So the race kind of naturally tapers down to the kids run, which happens at 1 p.m. And that we're going to get that started on time this year. When we get to the race course, I'll tell you how we've adjusted for that. But that is our race day schedule. Very similar to last year, but with a few more heats for the 5K. So get people to sign up, get them to run. We have room. So here's Ashley to tell you about some more specifics for you guys as volunteers.
Right. So prior to race day, you're going to get an email and it'll have the most up-to-date copy of the volunteer packet. It's also going to have a copy of the Mud Run FAQs. As volunteers, it's quite possible that participants or spectators will ask you questions during the day. And so reviewing the FAQs will help you to be helpful to them. So review all those things. We'll attach the maps as well and be comfortable with your part in the emergency plan. So read the section about medical emergencies or things about lost kids and stuff like that, so you know how to react. So then on race day, you're going to come into the camp. It's still located on Boy Scout Road, and come in the main entrance and you'll just follow the signs. There's only one way in. So there'll be signs for parking and we'll have volunteers out there to direct you. And you just follow the road in, and you'll make a right turn to get back to the parking lot. And we've made an adjustment this year, so we, for the most part, have one-way roads. So you'll drive into the parking lot, and then there'll be a separate exit when you're done for the day. There's also a volunteer tent. So after you get parked, come into the festival area, and you'll be looking for the volunteer tent to get checked in. That's where you'll get your volunteer shirt and lanyard. There'll be a toilet there for volunteers, so you can get out and you can change if you need to. And then have water and a snacks that you can grab to take with you out on the course if you like. Keep your phone with you at all times, because you may or may not be really close to an obstacle that has a radio, and it might be possible that you would need to call in an emergency or something. So I'll give you a number to call, but you'll need to have your cell phone on you. So then on race day, when you show up, you're going to report directly to the volunteer tent. You'll check in, get your lanyard. If you haven't got your shirt already, you'll get your shirt. And we ask that you volunteer shirt outermost layer. So this is the shirt. This is the blue. You can see the slate blue is a little blue than the picture shows, but wear your shirt. You can change there if you need to, or just throw it on over your other stuff. And then staff can assist you on where to go from there. So hopefully you've reviewed the maps, but from there you'll head out to your assigned location and continue your shift. So this is an example of the parking situation. You'll come in from the left where it says entrance on Boy Scout Road. You're going to follow that dark green line out to the parking areas. And then when you're leaving, you're going to follow the lime green or light green to go out. So hopefully that will flow a little bit better than last year. And then you'll see here some of the primary things you'll be looking for when you get to the festival area. The medic station and the volunteer tent will be very close together this year, and close to those roads where you're going out for driving, so you don't have to go all the way to the festival area. But just a little further on is the registration and the start line, bag check, the merch selling, and rent station, like that.
Yeah, and I think it's important to say too, just to note to everyone, one of the big things we had as feedback last year was the part, like the traffic flow from parking to walking, like it was crazy. So you'll see on actually this map, it was a little easier. These three lines, like that green one is one way into the parking lot. All right. Traffic is only flowing one way. The yellow is one way flowing out, exit. So there's not going to be people walking against cars, because then that bluish line farther to the right is a pedestrian trail to registration. And so they'll walk out of the parking lot right into that trail. There'll be a big sign above it. That's where you go after you park. Follow that trail. And then when you get to the end of it, you get to the festival area, turn left, there's the volunteer tent. So that should be much smoother this year. And there shouldn't be like walking against cars and playing chicken with cars. So I think that's going to be a much better situation.
Yeah. Thanks for pointing that out, Brian. So, on race day, there's a couple things you'll need to have with you during your shift. Like I said, be sure that you have a cell phone, or you're with someone that has a cell phone. Wear the lanyard that we give you at check-in and your volunteer shirt. If you'd like, you could bring along like a writing pad or pen if you don't want to take notes on a phone, in case there is something that needs to be recorded and relayed back to our command tent. All of the obstacle officiators will have a radio, and so that's usually the best way to get in touch. But you'll also have a number on your lanyard, a cell phone number that you can text if you need to, or call to send a message to our command tent. You can also bring whatever snacks and drinks with you. We'll give you a few things, but if you're a real like munchy kind of person, then bring your own stuff. Bring cameras, because we'd love to see your pictures after the fact. You can share those on Facebook with us. Depending on the weather, sunscreen, shade, maybe a light rain jacket if it's misty. Hopefully we're not dealing with rain that day. But you never know in Florida, right? So bring a chair if you want to be comfy. A little camp chair that you can carry with you would be great. you could bring something real comfy like a sofa, but you're going to have to lug it out there. So, not really recommended, but it's up to you. And then sneakers, right? We're out on trails and dirty roads and things like that. And there's all sorts of sticks and brush to step over, ants, that kind of thing. So flip flops are not a great idea, or sandals. Tennis shoes really are best. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Very good to have, because it is an outdoor event and there's very little being on pavement now. You're outside walking through trails to get to your obstacles. So yeah, closed-toed shoes definitely the best. The map is very similar to last year. So if you'll get this in your email packet. Look at it, especially if you're on the 10K, then you got that whole extra thing out to the right on this map, where there's just a few obstacles. But the 10K Elite Warrior this year is still just a little over 10K, closer to 11K, but with very similar obstacles. We've got a few new things this year. We are going to have at least a slide into a mud pit, and adapting some of the ones that we had before, but very similar. With a great trail run out there. Toilets are labeled on this, porta potties, so that if you're a volunteer on all of these maps, look for those purple dots, and that'll be your closest toilet. You might want to be aware of that just in case you need it during your shift. Although, the woods are all around you, up to you. Anyway, this is a 5K map, also very similar to last year, with the lake crossing, which everybody loved. Great map. So get to know that. Now here's the big change that you do need to know about, though. This is the 1 mile kids run. Last year, if you remember the map, and I'm sure you all do have it memorized, we had to reverse the course. Like, the kids finished Mud Mountains, turned left, and then when they hit the course that had been the 5K, 10K, we had to reverse it. And then we had runners at the end that showed up at the very end of the 5K, walked the whole thing. We had to delay the kids' run till they were done. We have fixed that problem. We will not have to reverse the kids' run this year. So even if there's some overlap, we can launch the kids, have volunteers ready to make sure they go the right direction. So the 1 mile kids run will not have to wait on a course reversal. We will have to modify a few of the obstacles to give a kid's lane, but we'll be ready to go at 1 p.m. Unless something else happens, but we should be ready to go, and it should be on time. So that course, they're going to turn, they're going to go through the woods, and then when they get to Ring Swing, then they're just going to finish the 5K just the way the 5Kers did. So all that should be very easy and no problem. So we're really anticipating that, and we get to add an obstacle with that. Called the triple threat. What does that mean? Show up on race day to find out. But it's the triple threat. That's a great name for an obstacle. That was Bill, so we'll give him credit for that. Now here's what you need to know. In the first two heats, the 10K competitive at 7:30 a.m. and the 5K competitive at 8:30 a.m. This year, we don't want to just automatically disqualify them when they can't finish an obstacle. We still want people to fight for it and have a fighting chance. So, if they fail an obstacle or they decide they're not going to do it, the penalty is 30 burpees. Now, I know that sounds extreme, but these are the competitive people, so we're going to make it extreme. The penalty for failing an obstacle is 30 burpees. Now, that should prevent you from having to cut as many armbands as some of you did last year. However, if they do not pay the penalty, then you have to cut the armband. If they completely refuse all of that, and we have different personalities out there. If a racer does not do the penalty, does not let your armband be cut, then you need to record their bib number and radio that into the command center. All right. But you should just be able to say, hey, you failed it, come pay the penalty. We'll have the area labeled. They'll go do the 30 burpees and then they'll run on. But if they don't, you got to cut the band. But most of those guys are ladies, they're going to do it and they're going to keep going. So that's a standard thing. So I don't anticipate a problem with that. Just be sure that if you have to cut an armband, you cut the colored armband and not the timing chip. Timing chip is very obvious, has the chip on it. Ashley, what is the color for 10K?
The 10K and the 5K competitive will be wearing bright yellow armbands.
Yes, bright yellow armband. So you cut the bright yellow armband, not the timing chip, which I think last year was kind of an orangey color. So that depends on the timing company what they show up with. But yeah, cut the bright yellow band, not the timing chip. That's just very important. Other than that, hopefully you don't have any problems with anyone, and we'll be sending these instructions out to you again before race day. So, but that's the most important thing that morning for those really competitive people is that we're consistent with that. They pay the penalty or you cut the band, but there should be a lot less cutting bands this year.
Right. So, Lord willing, we don't have any major medical issues or emergencies, but we want you to be prepared just in case. So, be familiar with that section of the volunteer packet. You need to know whether it's a life-threatening situation, if the racer is unresponsive. So, think life-threatening is like head, heart, and heat. Those are the big issues that would be of major concern. And we don't want to be blasting like personal and graphic information across the radios. So you want to be very specific. If you have a medical emergency that happens nearby you, then the first thing you're going to do is change your radio to channel 1 and say medic, medic, medic. And then let go of the button and you'll wait for someone to respond to acknowledge you so that you know the command tent is ready to receive the information. Then you're going to tell them the location of the injury, how many people are injured, and then like a brief description of the situation, and then say over. And then they will confirm what they've heard and pass that message on to the medics. Well, the medics will be listening to that channel as well, but they'll also notify our black shirt team so that we can respond in accordance with whatever's going on. So just look over those things, minor injuries. You may stay with the injured person. You may have to deal with some of that with twisted ankles and things like that. So just be aware and be prepared to take action should you need to. The other thing is sometimes you might encounter somebody who's lost a child, or you might find a child who's lost, or have other general questions be asked of you. So, of course, if you happen upon a kid that doesn't know where his pants are, stay with them. Don't let them leave you, and then call that in as well. If you can find someone with a radio that's closest, that's best. Otherwise, use that emergency number on the back of your lanyard to make sure that our black shirt team is aware and can help to reunite that kid with his parents. But again, just the nature of the need, where you're at on the course, and a brief description. So again, it's really important to be familiar with the map for the shift that you're working. And I would just say that if you're in the morning shift, then the 10K and the 5K maps are relevant. And if you're in the afternoon shift, then keep an eye on the 5K and the kids map, because some positions will transition during race changes.
Yeah. And I would say this too. Listen, the number one thing to it and put it on this is stay calm, right? Even if there is a medical emergency, most of those have happened near the festival area, but no matter where it happens, stay calm and remember two things about radio etiquette. Okay. We don't want you to have to remember all that, but two things you have to remember. Number one, press the button, give a slight, like a second pause before you speak. All right. So that they hear everything you say, and then let the button up, because you can't hear if your button's down, right? It's good old walkie-talkie kind of stuff. Those are the two things you have to remember. So stay calm, press the button, give a second, state medic, 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 and then let the button up. When they respond, press the button, wait a second, and then give all that information that we said right there. But just stay calm, right? And then our black shirt team and our medic team, they know what they're doing. Just make sure that they know where you are and the general nature of it, and they'll be there. They'll get it done. So, but stay calm, and that helps the racer that may be injured. Stay calm.
Yeah. Next, one of the biggest questions we get is, it's raining. Do I still come for my volunteer shift? And the answer is yes, absolutely yes. We have a plan in place. It's already in your volunteer packet. So again, take a look at that. But we cannot possibly cancel or reschedule this thing. So we will continue the race if it's just raining. If there's no danger of thunderstorm or lightning or anything, we'll run in the rain because you're going to get muddy. So why not get wet in the rain as well? It'll just be a little more fun. But if there's a threat of lightning or anything, then we'll ask people to shelter in their vehicles until it passes. And then we'll communicate as best we can to everybody to come back out. So just be prepared, dress accordingly for the weather that's being forecasted for the day, but maybe throw some stuff in your car to be extra prepared because, right, it's Florida.
Yes, it is. Yeah, we never know what the weather is going to be like. So be there because this is for a great cause. And we just want to remind you of that as we close out today, that 100% of what we raise goes directly to the care of orphaned and vulnerable children around the world. And the work of restoring families, because our work has really grown over the last few years. And even last night, we were praying together with our small group from our church, and it was about, hey, we've got 3 kids now in Zambia that we have placed with their families, and the work is with those kids and with their families. So these kids were on the streets. Not only have they been rescued, but now they've been restored to their family, and we're working to restore that family to God's purpose for them. So come and be a part of this, and invite others, because it really is get muddy and do good. The do good part is not a joke. It really is what you're doing. So we just appreciate you so much for being a part of that. If you're not familiar with the organization, Heart of the Bride Ministries, then there's the website. Go to heartofthebride.org, and you can see about the work that we do and the work that this race raises money for, the work that it supports. And there's other ways you can get involved, not just the mud run. So we want you to be with us. And of course, we're going to have awesome sponsors out there who are part of this. And these sponsors also support the race, not only because of the exposure. Some of these guys, they just do it because they support the work. So you'll see these on the back of the shirts, and you'll see them all over the banners that day. The ones that are out there, speak to them, thank them for sponsoring, and then patronize their businesses. They need support. We want to support them back. And then listen, our goal is to raise as much money as possible for this work. And so you can help between now and race day by sharing all of our social media stuff. I didn't update this slide with everything. Just go search for Emerald Coast Mud Run. It's on every platform. Go find it, share it, invite others to run, invite others to volunteer. Let them know that there's an extra discount for volunteering and running. You'll get the $25 back after you complete your shift if you've registered for the race for a race as well. We offer that to you. You can give that up if you want as a part of supporting the ministry, but we definitely offer that to you as a thanks for being a part of it and doing that part with us. So do that. You can share not only the social media stuff, but we have 2 different web addresses. They point to the same thing: getmuddydogood.com or emeraldcoastmudrun.com, and invite people to run, to volunteer. We need both. Ashley, anything else we need to say today?
No, just thank you again. We really appreciate your continued support. And if you're new, thanks for joining us this year. We hope you'll stick around. And now you're part of the Mud Run family.
Yeah, it is. It's a family. Listen, there are guys, there are volunteers who've been out there since the beginning, the very first mud run. So it is a family. We stick around, we stay together. And so now you're a part of it, and you're one of us. So like it or not, you're with us for life. And we appreciate you. So thank you so much. Ashley, thank you for all you do to help put this together. Everybody, listen, I want you all to know, I am full-time executive director of Heart of the Bride Ministries. So I could not do this on my own. So people like Ashley and Bill, our race director, who do this, we couldn't do it without you guys. So Ashley, thank you for all you do and helping to get this together.
Of course. Thank you, Brian, for everything.
All right. Well, volunteers, we will see you on race day, and looking forward to it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Ashley at heartofthebride.org, or if Brian at heartofthebride.org, either one of us, and we'll be happy to answer those questions and get you plugged in, get you ready to go. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day.